After an impressive 4-2 win against Brighton, Manchester United have now won 3 Premier League games in a row. Confidence and belief is at an all-time high, and Ruben Amorim's men can be proud of the way they've played recently. We had standout performances all over the pitch, so without further ado, let's get into the breakdown. What a performance, and honestly, what a day for Ruben Amorim and Manchester United. Collectively, from the coach to the starting 11, I thought it was some of the most entertaining football that United have played this season so far, but I have to say, hats off to Bryan Mbeumo and Matheus Cunha. What an incredible day for the both of them. Both of our marquee signings making such a huge impact, especially in a game where we needed to win, we needed to build on the result of beating Liverpool, and man, what a way to do so. Matheus Cunha coming into this game, there was all the talk of him getting his goal. What a goal it was. What a way to shut up your doubters and your haters. To score a goal that is typical of Matheus Cunha. That goal from outside of the box, the curler into the bottom corner, that's a typical Matheus Cunha goal. And I know that so far this season, he's missed a lot of easier chances, but if you can give him a chance like that at the edge of the box, the quality that he possesses, I mean, he's always going to finish chances like those. And Mbeumo on the flip side was so instrumental to the way that we played today. His first touch, silky. His IQ is impressive. The way that he can come short to receive the ball, but the way that he can also stretch the back line. And Mbeumo is the perfect right winger, right 10, whatever you want to call it. The exact type of profile that we've needed in that position for so many years. And I'm just so happy that we finally have 2 competent attackers who not only improve the way that we play, but they also improve the way that their teammates play around them. I'm just buzzing right now, if you guys can't tell. I'm happy because United finally played in a convincing manner, got a good result. Even though we conceded 2 silly goals, which we'll get into later in the video, I still thought it was a complete performance. And let's just get into the breakdown because I could go on forever. I actually thought United started the game quite well. There was clear attacking intent. Within the first minute, Bruno Fernandes had a chance within the box, his header going just wide, but it showed that Manchester United wanted to come out and attack, didn't want to sit off and let Brighton dictate proceedings. In my preview video, I talked about the importance of United starting fast and how good they are at doing that and kind of unsettling their opposition within the first 5 to 10 minutes of the game. And I think they did that to tremendous effect. Now, Brighton are still a good team at controlling the ball. They're still a good team in possession. And within like the 6th, I think it was between the 6th and like 12th minute of the game, they got their foot on the ball. They were able to, spread us out a little bit. They were able to play through our lines. They were able to also play through our press, which I think was kudos to Ruben Amorim for adjusting on the fly, because I could tell within the first 5 to 10 minutes of the game, United wanted to settle for this super aggressive man-marking approach. As you can see here, De Ligt followed Danny Welbeck all the way into his own half. So you could see that Manchester United's intent was to limit the space and time that Brighton's most dangerous players had on the ball, with players like De Ligt and Shaw following their attackers into their own half, following them, tracking them wherever they were. Even so, there were still times where Brighton was able to break us down and play through our press and play through our lines, as shown here in this screenshot, where you can see Ruter and Danny Welbeck coming super deep to receive the ball and link up play. You could tell that in this moment, the defenders didn't know whether to go or whether to stay, and that kind of created the confusion because in this exact sequence, Brighton was able to play through us and get a shot on target. Even still, from this moment forward, I feel like Ruben Amorim and the players had adjusted. They had kind of understood what Brighton was trying to do, trying to get players like Welbeck and Ruter on the ball in deeper positions to link up play. Eventually, that meant that United had started to figure out Brighton's game plan a little bit, and as the match progressed, you could see slowly but surely United was stepping up the pitch, getting into the faces of the Brighton players, not allowing them to play out from the back. And that is one of the most important things that I want to talk about today, because Brighton were so adamant on playing out from the back, and it was to their own detriment today. The first 2 goals that United scored came from Manchester United restricting the space and the time that Brighton had on the ball, especially as they tried to play out of the back. For some reason, Brighton are just so locked in to trying to play their way out of trouble, and it creates issues for themselves. The first goal that we scored, that Cunha scored, came from Van Hecke giving the ball away. In a dangerous position, Manchester United quickly springing into the counterattack. It took a little bit of time because we had settled into the possession, but as soon as the ball came out to Cunha, one excellent touch on his left foot to set up the chance, you knew what he was going to do. He always wants to shoot. He's adventurous. And from that position, it was just all about the quality of the finish. And man, finally today I can say we were absolutely excellent in our finishing ability. The chances that we had going through on goal, whether it ended in whether it ended in a goal or not, we at least got shots on target. We questioned the keeper. We made him nervous, and we questioned the back line numerous times. We were able to get in behind because Brighton are also a high-pressing team. They didn't really want us to play out from the back. Credit to Ruben Amorim, he didn't even try it. He told Sene Lammens, if you can, play out from the back, but if it's not there at all, don't even try and force it. Just get it long. Let's get ourselves up the pitch. Let's restart. And it worked to great effect. The second goal is literally the same thing. Brighton trying to play their way out of the back, Van Hecke giving the ball away again. This time it was kudos to Luke Shaw because he had aggressively stepped to Ruter, not allowing him to even get a touch on the ball, forcing him into another turnover. And we got a little lucky with Casemiro's shot. It was actually not even on target. So just thankfully, sometimes you need a little bit of that lady luck. Like I said, against Liverpool, we had a good amount of it. Today, for Casemiro's goal, we got lucky with that deflection. But look, it was not against the run of play. It was all in United's favor. The momentum was swinging in our direction. We were able to contain Brighton after the first goal, and then getting the second goal put us in a much better position to try and dictate proceedings in the match. We didn't rest on our laurels either. We still decided to go forward and try to attack. This is where I say Manchester United plays some of the most entertaining football I've seen in a while, because the intricacy, the link-up play, the triangles we were able to form because Brighton was pressing high. Bruno Fernandes, Šeško, Cunha, Mbeumo, all of these players, even Amad Diallo, all of these players are capable of being so technically sound on the ball. It gives us so many different options in the way that we want to play and the way that we want to build up. I'm happy because Manchester United fans, you can finally see what Ruben Amorim has been trying to implement since preseason, and even before preseason at I want to say the Bournemouth game last season was where I started to see what Ruben Amorim was trying to implement. The style that he wanted to implement. The players just weren't finishing. They weren't clinical. This is the type of game where they did everything right defensively and they did everything right offensively. They were getting themselves into positions to be nuisances. They were getting right into the faces of the Brighton defenders. They were finishing with conviction. I am a happy man. Now, real quickly, I just want to talk briefly about Benjamin Šeško because it took him a while to get into the game, but once he did, his touches were magnificent. Like I said, he and Bruno had some great link-up today. They were just on point. They were on par with each other. Everything was seamless. And I like the way that Šeško approaches the game. He's a tall, imposing presence. So you would naturally think that his first touch isn't that great. He's not that quick in the space. The dude is deceptively fast. His first touch is brilliant. There are moments where, I want to see him have a little bit more composure. But I thought his link-up play was fantastic. I'm going to show you the screenshot now. He does such a good job to link up with Bruno Fernandes and Bryan Mbeumo. He does a great job also to not limit his own space, but to keep himself away from the defender, as so that the defender doesn't really know whether he should stick to Šeško or trying to stop the ball. And once the ball gets to Šeško, you just want to see a little bit more composure in this situation. We could score so many more goals if there's just a little bit more composure at the end of some of these chances. But like I said, majority of the chances we had today were on target. They tested the keeper, and a lot of our goals were absolutely brilliant. Even though Šeško couldn't score in that last opportunity that I showed you, he did well to redeem himself to get the assist for Mbeumo here. This third goal couldn't have been made, however, without Luke Shaw stepping once again to Ruter. I know in this situation, it's 50-50 on whether or not this is a foul. I've seen these given time and time again in the Premier League. But if Anthony Taylor says it's not a foul, it's good from the boys to play on. The ball finds its way to Šeško, and what a fantastic touch to completely take the defender out of the game. One look up, he finds Mbeumo. The rest is history. This is what United should be emphasizing every single game. Be clinical, be efficient, be creative, but at the same time, use your skill set and your clever way of thinking, your intelligence on the pitch to try and undo your opponents. And I'm glad that Šeško had a much longer run in this game. I know that he wasn't really as effective in terms of getting shots away, getting many touches on the ball. It was kind of a situation where Haaland doesn't get many touches on the ball, but he'll put the ball into the back of the net. Šeško today didn't get too many touches, but when he did, his passing was effective. He was good at breaking free from his defender. I just wanted to talk about him briefly because I know in a game like this, you'd want to see your striker score, especially when your other two forwards are scoring. But I know with the way that Šeško thinks, the way that the system is set up, he will thrive. He will thrive in this United system. And it's only a matter of time before we start to see Šeško, Mbeumo, and Cunha start to rake in goals on a more consistent basis. Before I end the video, I want to talk about the 2 goals we conceded because these are really poor goals to concede just from the overall standpoint of the game. The first goal is a good free kick. Can't really be mad at the free kick itself. I'm only upset with the way that we gave away the free kick. Dorgu giving the ball away in such a nothing situation. I mean, that's not the situation where you should be giving the ball away. They go down to break on the other end, and honestly, I don't know how Dorgu doesn't get sent off in this situation. I know they said that the ball was too far away from Minte, but I don't think that even matters. It doesn't matter. We concede that goal, which is okay. It's 3-1 at that point. We still had control of the game. The second one that we conceded in the 90-something minute was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. Good off-the-ball movement by the striker. I mean, that's good poacher's instinct to get himself into a position to get his hand on the ball, but come on. How many players are on the line? How does Xerxes allow himself to be undone so easily? This is that concentration aspect that I've always talked about, especially on our set-piece defending. We lack the critical awareness when it comes to defending set pieces. Certain players just do not have it. They don't have the concentration. Xerxes was at fault for a couple of set piece goals last season. Not saying that this one is entirely on him, because there are other players in the box that could have also tracked the run, but somebody has to say something. It's poor, it's complacent, and it's not something that we need. And it made the game difficult. It made it more difficult for us at the end. It made it more nervy when it really didn't have to be. I thought it was a complete, comfortable performance from United overall. We just need to be better in seeing these games out. Now, you might ask, what was the reason why we lost the control of the game? Honestly, I feel like the substitutions that Ruben and Amorim made were good. They were good substitutions. I feel like they just struggled to meet the pace of the match. And they kind of made us complacent. And they made us slow down a little bit. Not to say that they were poor. They just weren't up to the races as the other players who had already been in the match were. And I think that gave us a little bit of nerves, especially when we would lose the ball in dangerous positions. But overall, I think the team did a great job to see out the result. And for Mbeumo to get such a fantastic brace in that manner to score the 4th goal, I'm buzzing. I'm absolutely delighted. So before this game took place, we as the fans asked Manchester United and Ruben Amorim, can they build upon the result against Liverpool? Can they go into this game forgetting what had happened and just making this their own contest, making this their own spectacle? And boy, I think they answered our question in tremendous fashion. A 4-2 victory for Manchester United is exactly what they need. Now going forward, we play Nottingham Forest next, a team who's in the relegation zone, who's struggling for an identity, who's struggling to even just keep a manager for more than 1 month. I think this is the perfect opportunity for Manchester United now to establish themselves. Teams will look at United and say, oh, their recent form hasn't been good, so these players are probably still losing and lacking confidence. I think today showed that when Man United is full of confidence, when Bruno, Cunha, Mbeumo, Šeško, even Casemiro, De Ligt, who is amazing today, when these players are full of confidence, they play some tremendous football. The quality in this team, although we've said throughout many points this season and even last, the quality in this team can be looked at as widely average, but when these players are playing on form, they turn into somebody else. They turn into something else. And as long as we can keep this up and maintain this, we have a real shout for shocking a lot of the teams in the league. I keep saying this, and I've been preaching patience forever with Manchester United, even with some of our other managers. This time it feels so good to have a manager like Amorim who has a clear and concise plan, and the players are starting to follow that and deliver it to a T. I want to know what you guys think in the comments down below. I thought it was a fantastic performance. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys want to see also in the future. I'm thinking, honestly, I want to release a video on Monday about Cunha and Mbeumo and how dangerous and deadly they were and why they were the keys to us unlocking the Brighton defense. Let me know if that's something that you guys want to see. As always, thank you so much for watching the video. It's a pleasure to always be able to talk to you guys. Hope to see you on the next video. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. Come on, United.